What is euphoric recall? Hi, Rick. My biggest struggle in this recovery has been what seems to be his inability to see his affair as negative as I think he should. He's been able to list and tell me negative parts, feelings, experiences during the affair on his own. But any time I ask a question, bring it up, ask for a comparison, he goes to the positive of the affair. He then says he wasn't thinking of it until I brought it up. Is he just being defensive? I need these answers so I can stop comparing myself and feeling like I can't compete. I don't feel safe feeling he still has any positive feelings. Positive feelings seem like he would be more likely to relapse. Personally, I don't care if something is tempting, if something seems appealing. I guess coming from my faith perspective, it was God that put the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the garden. It was God that put temptation out there in that Genesis story, what it teaches in the Bible. And it was important to have something else that was appealing, because if there wasn't another choice, there could never be love. People would have just been puppets on a string, marionettes, with no free will. There probably were things that were pleasurable, I think, with any sort of event like that. Doing the wrong thing, going the wrong direction. There may be pleasurable aspects of it. For you, there's only painful aspects of it. But he wouldn't have been doing it at some level if there wasn't some secondary gain to doing it. I'm not justifying what he did. It's very wrong. But he was using it to feel good. So in that sense, if he's doing a dopamine-based behavior, whether it's pornography, an affair, alcohol, cocaine, he's trying to kick a neurochemical that brings about pleasure. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't choose you and doesn't want to be with you. Obviously he does, because he cared enough about you and sees this as what he needs to do. I mean, literally, he's willing to forego something else and try to figure out how to do the right thing. My bigger concern is you asking comparison questions. The fact is, you need to curb those desires. It's not an apples and apples comparison. You can't compare a first stage 1 relationship when someone's just starting to get to know another person with a long-term relationship. You know, one is dopamine-based, one is serotonin-based. If you haven't already, I would strongly recommend maybe doing something like the EMS online or EMS weekend, where you can begin to see him through the lens also of other couples, and maybe he can show you that he cares. Because what you need to be focused on is the fact that you're chosen. You need to decide that there's no benefit in me asking comparison questions anymore. You're the chosen one. I know that for a while he chose something else, but he made a decision to come to you and to choose you and to choose life with you. And you ought to be able to sit there and go, okay. And you'll never be that other person. You don't need to be that other person. You need to be you and let him love you, okay as is, good enough just the way you are. He can't fix you by telling you you're the best of all things. You're the one that has to figure that out. One of the things you might want to do is take a Harboring Hope course. I think maybe being around other women and gaining a right perspective of yourself, not a wrong perspective of the other person, but a right perspective of yourself, is what in the long run you need. You've got a chance here to do some real personal growth and some real safe self-discovery, where you can grow and become, I think all who God created you to be. Someone that you can be really proud of. And as you grow in that understanding, you don't need to compare yourself against another person. Your husband was a fool anyway. People always affair down. So do your personal work. I don't think your husband's going to fix this one. I think it's going to be you in individual counseling, having some self-care, self-compassion, but also being around other people and seeing yourself as honorable, because you're the one who's forgiving and bringing this man back. Grow in your own self-respect, and I think you won't need to compare anymore.